to speak to Bryan Robson, the one and only Bryan Robson. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Rob. Still pretty busy with Man United to get me about the world, and then taking in quite a few of the games and that. So, yeah, not complaining, mate. All good.
We were just talking off camera there, and I spoke to, had a little drink with Dennis Irwin the other day. I'm not being funny, but you two have got the best job in the world, haven't you? Don't tell anybody, but I've actually got the best job in the world.
No, well, we don't say that to Richard Arnold because otherwise we don't get a pay rise.
Go on, tell people who maybe don't know what's your role, what do you do?
Well, myself and Den, and quite a few of the other boys, I mean, what we do, we work the corporate lounge on match days at Old Trafford, which is quite enjoyable. You know, a few pitchside photos with sponsors, then meet and greet people, do a bit of a Q&A just before the match. Photos at halftime with some of the people in the boxes. And, you know, that's more or less it on match days. But then sort of like in a few weeks' time, we've got a trip to Tokyo with DHL, one of our main sponsors. And so we're going out to Tokyo to taste wine and have a golf day. So it's a hard
He's giving it all the match day, yeah, we do photos. But basically, we're off to Tokyo for a game of golf. Yeah, any chance.
Yeah, so it's all that type of thing. Then MUTV sometimes you know get you involved as well to do some of the match days, especially the away games. So it's a nice mixture, and that's why me and Den both really enjoy the role, along with Andy Cole, because Andy does quite a lot as well.
I mean, I worked in the Middle East for 10 years, and I think it's only when you go abroad you realise just how big the Premier League is, how big Manchester United is, certainly. I mean, you say Tokyo, but you travel all over the world. You must get an amazing reaction from places you thought never even watched football.
Well, it is. I was lucky enough, Rob, and it was a great experience when I lived in Bangkok for 2 years, you know, with the national team in Thailand. So there you see the different cultures of people in the world because of you actually staying there for 2 years. And it's fantastic when, you know, when I look back to when I was a Chesley Street boy and all of a sudden you become a footballer and you see the world because of football. You know, it's just like this last pre-season where we went to Thailand for a game there, and then we were down in Melbourne and Perth, down in Australia, for a few matches down there. So it's like you're saying, it is amazing. It's not just the Asian side now as well. I mean, the US is massive now with the Premiership.
It's fantastic. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Dennis said occasionally that some of the nice things is like the two of you will be sitting there in some far-flung place and Sir Alex will come over for a beer and a chat. Is it? Do you get on? Or how do you react to him now? Is he like your pal now as opposed to the gaffer kind of thing?
No, he's still the gaffer to us all. You know, I'm lucky enough because we shared the same passion, like with horse racing. So with a couple of our friends, mutual friends as well, we go racing, you know, to maybe Cheltenham, York races, Aintree. And so we go racing together and that. So I see quite a lot of the boss. Then obviously you see him on match days as well. But he's still got all that passion and drive, you know, about the club and about football. But it is great to catch up with him every now and again.
But is he still the boss? As a fan, I get starstruck. I mean, we'll talk about, if it's okay, the Robbo documentary, which I just loved yesterday. Sat all day watching it, brilliant. But
thanks, mate.
Is him sort of still like, is that little sort of gap? He's still the boss kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it definitely. You know, that's why I tell you what, I don't think there's a player who I know who played for the boss doesn't actually call him the boss or the gaffer now. That's the respect he's got from all the lads who worked under him. But he still has got. I know what you mean. That sort of aura and presence. The boss has still got that. Or no matter where you go, if I go racing with him or you go to a match with him, people have that much respect for him.
I love. I'm not just saying. I absolutely loved watching Robbo. It's the documentary about your life, because it's our era, isn't it? It's my era. What was it like to make it? What kind of experience was that? I bet for me watching it was very emotional. I guess it was emotional for you at times.
Yeah, I mean, the producers and directors and that they did a great job. I was really pleased with the way the documentary came out. But yeah, when you're looking back through all the archives and there's certain goals, you always remember your best goals when you're winning things and that. But there was certain goals you think, oh crikey, I forgot about that one. Or then even moments, in different interviews, and some of the lads will bring up a story which you've sort of half forgot. But no, it was great. I mean, it was very time consuming because I said that, no matter who did the interview, I wanted to go through all the interview and pick out bits that I would like, not just what the producers and the directors thought was important. So that was great. But I tell you what, our cellar has never been so clean going through all the memorabilia. So it was a good job done down in the cellar.
Listen, I tell you what struck me, because I followed up and watched on when you had the premiere of the documentary, and I'm going, Sam Allardyce, Gazza's there, obviously the gaffer's there, De Pally's there, and I thought, God, I bet that was a proper good night out afterwards.
It was quite a good one, but Rob, you say that about Man United players and that, but the one who was brilliant. Graham Souness, he actually came because I gave Graham the invite when he did a great interview for us. But he lives in Portugal most of the time now, when he flies over for matches. And I said to him, "What match are you doing this weekend?" And Graham, "Oh no, Brian," he says, "I've just come for your premiere." So I thought that was fantastic that he just came across from Portugal just for the premiere and then was flying back. So much respect for that.
Oh, it was brilliant. There was so much about in the documentary, but your relationship with him on the pitch, the Charity Shield, when you told the referee, don't send him off. But great rivals. But I think that's part of the beauty of football, isn't it? Is having respect for somebody, even if you are a rival, even if you are, at your greatest sort of opposition.
I didn't really mean it. It was off the cuff, and I wasn't thinking at the time.
Brilliant. Who's your toughest opponent? I have to ask you that. Who was the one down the years you found the toughest?
No, I mean, I found quite a few lads who were really difficult to play against, especially when you look at the foreign players, people like Platini and Maradona, Zico, these sort of players, and that were top players. And but it's great when you're pitting your wits against these players. That's what playing at the highest level is all about. Trying to prove that you are one of the best players in the world, and that's what everybody tries to achieve. So it was a great experience playing against those sort of people. But no, I mean, even though I hate seeing it and that, but Liverpool at that time were a top team. So when I first came to United, the toughest opponents were Liverpool, because they were winning most things at that time, and they had a hell of a lot of terrific players.
I think when Barcelona pulled out the hat for the Europa League with United straight away, as part of the documentary, the 1984, when you beat them 3-0, having been 2-0 down against a Maradona Barcelona, and Kevin Moran was on, Norman Whiteside was on. So, do you know the thing that struck me though was just the atmosphere? I don't think you get atmospheres like that anymore.
No, for me, that was the best atmosphere at Old Trafford that I've witnessed, and that's even going into today's day where there's 74,000 there. And that was an unbelievable atmosphere that evening. Obviously, a great win for us to come back from 2-0 down. But you know, the Rotterdam game over there, beating Barcelona in the final when they were 3-1 on favourites to beat us. You know, we've had some great battles with Barcelona, and yeah, you know, even though it's a Europa Cup, it is you know, a charisma tie, and so I'm sure the boys will enjoy the challenge. I'm sure that the fans, you know, will be right up for the game because Barcelona have got an unbelievable reputation.
I forgot about that. The Cup Winners' Cup against Barcelona in Rotterdam. That was a special night. You said in the documentary that was the best game you played.
Yeah, I felt it was. I mean, because I scored 2 goals in the Old Trafford game, I think a lot of fans straight away picked that one out because of the win, and then you know, because of scoring 2 goals. But you know, for me overall game defensively and just keeping the ball, I thought I did that really well in Rotterdam. And like I say, it was against a great team again because they went on to win the Champions League the next year. That's how good they were.
On Man United, way things going to you? What's he like, Eric Ten Hag? Do you get to chat to him?
Yeah, on pre-season tour, we were away for probably about 17, 18 days. So you get to meet the lads and meet the staff a lot more when you're on a trip like that. Myself and Dennis Irwin, Andy Cole, we went to sort of all the training sessions. So you get to chat to the manager and his staff. Yeah, and I think he'll do a really good job for United. He's keeps his feet on the ground. He talks a lot of sense. His training sessions were really good, you know, and he sort of puts in place exactly what he wants the players to do. And if the players are a little bit indisciplined off the pitch, he soon cracks down on them. So, you know, yeah, I think he'll get a lot of support from the club, and you know, I think he'll do a very good job for us.
Yesterday, the week was to Terry Butcher, bizarrely. Then I'm watching the 27-second goal against France in the World Cup, and in fairness to Terry, I'd forgotten it was his flick on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know, and that was amazing, really, that you can actually score after that length of time. Because we were walking off the training pitch, and we were practicing Paul Mariner and Terry Butcher on the other side of the pitch to flick the ball on, and I had to get on the flick on. And as we were walking off the training pitch the day before the game, Stevie Coppell said to Don Howe, Don, I can throw the ball as far as that if you want to do it from this side. And so Don said, well, let me have a look at the length of your throw. Stevie got it, threw it straight into the 6-yard box, and Don went, oh, okay, then we'll do this on this side as well early on in the game. And that's where that goal came from. If Steve hadn't have said anything, we'd never have scored that goal.
Did that goal change?
I think what the goal, an early goal in a World Cup like that, it makes a big difference to how you can maybe control the game. You know, and I think that's what that goal did for us. It gave us a confidence and a little bit of a control of the game, because you can keep possession of the ball, you can keep nice and compact, and then try and hit France on the counter attack. So yeah, it was a really important goal scene. So it was a lot of the lads' first World Cup finals.
What about you? Publicity.
Yeah, publicity-wise, it became massive because it wasn't just in England; it was all around the world because of it being the quickest goal in World Cup history. So I did get a lot of publicity about that at the time.
United Did you? I guess you always loved joining up with England. Obviously, incredibly proud to captain your country. Has it changed at all, the club and country thing? Do you think now?
You know, when you talk to a few players who were years after myself, or you hear interviews from them, I don't know that. In my time, 82 World Cup squad, 86 World Cup squad, 90 World Cup squad, we all seem to get on well, and we all try to encourage each other. Maybe it was because now and again we could have a few pints together, which relaxes you and chills you that bit more. Where I think because of social media and everything, the boys can't do that nowadays. But you just tend to hear that it's a bit cliquey in the England squad, you know, and so you get a lot of players from one club sit by themselves and they don't intermingle. Where in my time, everybody sort of intermingled and you sit on different tables on different days and have a chat and a bite to eat with more or less everybody.
Do you think England have got? How do you rate England's chances going into Qatar?
Look, I'll be very surprised if we don't do pretty well, because the back players have all got good experience in the World Cup last time round, in the Euros. So we've got quite a lot of experienced lads who are still young enough to have a very good World Cup. Then you go into midfield, you know, I think Declan Rice and Bellingham, Henderson with his experience, whether Phillips gets in there as well, all experienced. But I think Bellingham and Rice are both terrific players, so hopefully you can get a bit of control in the midfield. But then the options for Gareth is brilliant up front. You know, okay, maybe it's not so much with Harry Kane, but we've got decent players who can play through the middle if anything happens to Harry. But then the balance off around him, the players that we've got is terrific. You know, people like Mount and Foden, Sterling, Grealish, all these lads. Marcus Rashford now is getting back to a bit of form to when the last World Cup was on. So he's getting back to form. So we've got all these lads with loads of energy, a bit of pace about them. And so I think Gareth can mix it quite nicely, Rob. So, you know, if you've played three strikers and it's not working for them on the day, you know, you can quickly make changes and say it's not quite happening for him today. Let's just freshen it up a bit. You know, so I think England's options up front is very good.
You obviously had really in 86 and 90. How much does luck play a part in a tournament, do you think? You know, you see teams who are really fancy, something seem to just get on a roll, don't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, I always look and, you know, sometimes you hit a shot from 25 yards or maybe just a little bit more. And loads of times keeper will make a save because it's so far out. Other times it'll go blazing over the bar. But then just at a certain time, it goes right into the top corner and you go, wow, I've tried that maybe 30, 40 times and that's the first one that's gone right in the top corner. So you hope it's going to be one of them days in a big game where you need to score a goal like that to win you the game. So you do have to have a little bit of fortune, but on a football pitch, you make your own luck.
Were you ever nervous?
I always got a little bit of butterflies before the game, but as soon as the whistle goes and you kick off, then the nerves just disappear.
Do you miss it?
Oh yeah, there's nothing like playing. It doesn't matter how much coaching, management, and even in my role as an ambassador, it's not the same as playing. But unfortunately, we all get old.
Unfortunately, we do. And on that note, hey, listen, thanks for joining us today. Lovely seeing you as always.